Now we got another segment of Chakotay's Odyssey featuring the adventures of Janeway. Season 2, Episode 19. What is this one called? I should know what it's called. I just watched it. It's not Death Wish. That was the previous one. Lifesigns.
Oh, so we're more positive with this title.
So...
Is this a good one? No. The way your face, like...
It has some good things in it.
Okay.
This is a Doctor episode. This is a Robert Picardo episode.
Good. Well, that's an improvement.
So, starts off, the crew is just kind of floating along in Voyager, and they discover a ship, and there's weak life signs on board.
Oh, they have
So there's one female, it's a Vidian. One of those Vidian. Yeah, one of those phage people. They got that plague so they look awful.
Disease people that do all the organ transplantation?
Yeah, because this plague is eating away at them. So they beam the person on there, beam her directly to sickbay. So we get Robert Picardo there with his assistant, the ever faithful Cass.
Right. Do they do any disease prevention? Can they catch that disease?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't remember from the last
I don't think they can.
Okay.
But, so a lot of this takes place in sickbay. But there is stuff in other ways. So, there's this woman there, but she has this implant in the side of her head.
Right. And
her brain activity is decreasing.
Oh.
And she's dying.
Oh.
So what the doctor does, he downloads her brain into the computer.
Oh, from this thing she has in her head.
Yeah, well, he hooks up a thing to it, remotely downloads it. You know, they use the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth, I'm guessing, the Star Trek Bluetooth. Downloads her brain, and then he creates a holographic projection of her. So he creates another holographic person, right?
Oh.
And her name is, what the hell's her name? Bar something or other.
Okay. So does
Danera.
she become friends with the doctor, or what does
this
she end up
is
doing?
all about the doctor helping her, and he's falling in love with her.
Okay.
So, sure.
I didn't think the doctor could do that with his programming.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets a disease.
And
so.
and Kes is like, but aren't you programmed to adapt and progress? Yeah.
But aren't you programmed to be a complete a-hole?
He's not an a-hole. He's just very egocentric. He's like, I'm just doing my job. I just do it very well.
He has no bedside manner at all.
He has none. He is getting better at it. Although at the beginning, when it's on the bridge, what do we see again? We've seen this a couple times now. Tom Paris shows up late again.
Yes,
and once again, Chakotay, Officer Hardass, is giving him a hard time.
Right. Well, you can't show up late on that. I mean, you could crash the ship or something.
But he's like showing up late all the time. So he really is not enjoying himself on Voyager.
He needs to go see the doctor.
Maybe. So the doctor's trying to deal with this lady here and try to help her because he's trying to save his patient.
Okay.
So what does he do while he's working on it? He takes her to the holodeck. Because she wants to get out and walk, right? She wants to go out and do stuff. So he takes her to a holodeck because that's the only other place they get. What's going on?
Having a dream.
Okay, yeah. How do you... Oh, is she moving there?
Oh, yeah. When you were waving your hand over, I thought she was going to stop.
She's having kitty dreams there. Maybe she's dreaming of Voyager.
Maybe.
So while they're in... So they're at the French bar.
Yeah.
Because Paris and Neelix are playing pool there.
Yeah.
And so they're chatting, and they're getting to know each other. And they're talking, oh, what's that? That's dancing. Do you know how to do that? No, I'm not programmed to. Sure. And then she gives him a name. Because remember, he had that other name, Schweizer, his German name. So she gives him another name, Schmuler. Okay, what's with the German names?
He doesn't look like a Schmuler.
Okay,
anyway.
Dr. Schmuler. So... And then it cuts back to more Tom Paris Chakotay drama because this is a side story.
Oh, okay.
And he shows up late again.
Right.
And what happens is him and Chakotay get into a big argument on the bridge, right?
Oh.
And then Paris gets dismissed because Paris didn't show up for his shift on time. He showed up 10 minutes late. Chakotay called in someone else. He's like, he's got your shift. Get out of here. Huh. So, okay, he doesn't have to work, right? He's all pissed off about that. And Chakotay's like, just like puts his hand on his shoulder. He's like, yeah, you just go and rest and everything. And Paris freaks out and just pushes him and throws him to the ground. Throws Chakotay to the ground. And next thing you know, Tuvok takes him to the brig.
Yeah.
Okay? Can't do that, but he gets let out. Okay?
Okay.
And the Doctor starts having feelings for Dinara there.
Okay.
And so who does he go to for advice? Love expert Tom Paris.
Okay. Who's in the brig at this point or out?
No, he talks to him about it. I think they talk on the holodeck, right?
Oh, okay.
And then he takes his advice and he sets up a date with Dinara on the holodeck.
Dying woman.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna save her, right?
Okay.
So they're in the holodeck. They're on Mars and they're in a '57 Chevy convertible with the top down. They're essentially at Mars makeout point. Okay, that's where he takes her, so they can sit in the car. It's called parking, and they can just make out.
Okay.
There you go. Because he tried telling her that he has feelings for her, but he does it while he's working over top of her body, and Kes is there, and he's like, so I feel that I have romantic feelings for you. What do you think? And Kes is just like, what the? She stays, obviously, because she's nosy. And the lady, she's just like, no, let's just be professional. Because she's taken aback. But she does like him.
Okay.
So they go on dates and that, and in the end, she convinces him to, that it's essentially euthanasia. This is another suicide episode. She doesn't want to live with this phage because they're heading towards one of their colonies and they're going to drop her off.
Right.
Meanwhile, Ensign Michael Jonas, who's the spy, on Voyager, he's talking to the Kazon.
Yeah.
And who makes an appearance? Seska. He gets to talk to Seska. She's only
I'm really excited about it, but I didn't really care for her character, I think. I don't know.
She's way more interesting. Or she's not that interesting. They're setting up a surprise attack for Voyager.
Okay.
And they want this spy to sabotage the warp core. And he's like, I ain't doing that. I'll feed you information, but I ain't doing that. I don't know what this guy's goal is.
Yeah, I mean... anyway.
No. So we get another name, and what happens is he does save her. He saves her body and saves her brain function, but she has to go back into her body that's, deteriorating.
Yeah.
Because their whole people are, even though they got advanced technology, they're all falling apart and they're all dying.
Falling off and stuff.
And she has to go back into it. So then they go on another date in the holodeck. She walks in. It's all dark in the shadow at the door. And then she walks in. You see that she's back to her wearing all those prosthetics and everything.
Okay.
And they have a dance and end of episode. And I'm like, that's it? What happens? I guess they just drop her off and then we never hear from her again.
Okay.
Because they're in love. And so they get to spend another 2 weeks together until they get to this colony.
It's weird. That's too much advanced for the Doctor. Like all of a sudden, I don't know. It's just weird.
It was just so that Robert Picardo could get another episode dedicated to himself.
I guess, but I don't think it was very good writing. No. That sounds of it.
That was another episode of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.